Hey guys, welcome. Thanks for joining. So, as promised, I am here today to talk through the scent list for our Emerald City collection. The release is this Friday, the 14th, just double checking the date, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, we're super excited about it. So, I'll probably go off camera in just a second so that I can share the scent list. I figured that would be probably the best way to kind of walk through it for both me and you, so I can look at all of the scent notes and you can kind of see them as I'm talking through them. But I hope this is helpful. I hope I don't make you more confused about some of these. I'll do the best job I can. If I forget something, I'll just mention it in the comments. Of course, if you have any clarifying questions, please feel free to comment and I will answer as best I can. I know there's been some interest in knowing which particular scents are dupes for perfumes. So I'll definitely make sure to mention those. I wasn't trying to sort of hide that fact by any means. It's just a matter of folks that maybe aren't as familiar with some of these perfume dupes. I wanted to list out the notes so that they could see if it's something that they might like. And if it's something that sticks around for a while, then probably I'll transition and just list what the dupe is. But at least for a while, I'll just list out the scent notes. What else? Oh, I probably should mention about that. So any blend that has a perfume dupe in it, it's not a straight dupe in the sense of I've added things to it to kind of put my own unique spin on it. Just so it's not a straight dupe and it kind of adds a little bit more interest. So that was just sort of my take on it. So I'll explain what notes of the perfume dupes are the added additional oils. So I'll mention that. The other thing I wanted to mention, just to kind of give you a little context about where I'm coming from. So, as far as scent preferences, I am definitely a traditional bakery lover. I also like some fruity bakery, but I've noticed over the years that my taste for like tradition, like just straight on fruit scents, has kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. I don't, so it just depends, like our scent preferences always change, but definitely a bakery, a little fruity bakery is okay. I also like woodsy and smoky. um I'm really not traditionally like a fresh or floral person. And you'll notice that this particular release has a lot of floral scents in it, but if they're done in the right way, and they're more of a sweet note mixed with it. I mean, just like, perfumes, like the perfume dupes, and just any perfumes that I purchase myself, um, if they're mixed kind of with like a fruity scent or like a sweet scent to kind of like taper that floral note down, I tend to like those kind of scents. So I'll just explain that. And yeah, I think that's it. If I think of anything else, I'll mention it as we're chatting through the list. But yeah, that's my little intro. So without wasting any time, I'm going to share the list and I'll probably go, yeah, let me go off camera just because I think it'll be easier. So let me turn my video off and then I'm going to share the list with you guys. There we go. So hopefully you see this list. I'm like crossing my fingers that like the audio and everything's working in. I don't go look at the recording and then something malfunctions. So hopefully everything is going well. So okay, so first up, Auntie M's a farmhouse tea. So you can all see the scent notes here. I would say this one is a traditional, black tea scent, what you would think a black tea scent would smell like. The added berries, raspberries and sweet peaches, it doesn't take over that tea scent. It just adds, of course, you're going to pick up a little bit of the fruit note, right? But it's more of like tea infused with the fruit, and the fruit's not taking over the tea, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think it's sort of like an infused black tea scent with these hints of raspberry and peaches to add a little sweetness and interest to the blend. So I'm going to try to move through fairly quickly because I am on Zoom and I'm on the free version. I thought I had a paid version at one point in time, um, but I don't. And so I think you're only allowed like up to 40 minutes. So I'm going to try to get through this list as quickly as I can. So I think we can do it. Okay, the next one is bows, braids, and gingham. Oh my, kind of a little ode to Dorothy here. So this one is a definitely a laundry scent. I am also, as I mentioned, not fresh, like not laundry lover. This one I could do. I will tell you that if I was purchasing, if I was looking at a list from another vendor and I saw the notes of this, I would probably not purchase it. But I will tell you, it is very pretty because you really get the citrus comes through. Of course, you get a touch of that linen, and the sweet floral notes, sort of like a citrus floral note with a little laundry is how I would describe that. And then the vanilla and the marshmallow also kind of cream that out a little bit. So again, yeah, definitely a sweet, sort of fruity floral laundry, but you could definitely get that citrus and that orange note comes through with the laundry. So I think this is a really pretty one. Again, I would be scared off by this one if I was, purchasing, but it is really pretty. And this is typically not a scent I would go for, but I really like it. Um, Changed for good. Okay, this is a dupe. This is the Floor Bearskin dupe, and it's paired with, okay, so these are some of the notes. I think this, like I'm doing this from memory, guys, off the cuff. Um, I believe, I'm gonna see, can I highlight this? Yeah. I believe this part is the extra notes that I'm adding to it. So maybe not the, you know what, it might not be the suede. I think it might be like, maybe it's just this part. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to go off the cuff here. So how would I describe this? If you're not familiar with that scent, again, I wouldn't be nervous about the freesia, if you're not like a floral person or the jasmine. To me, this smells like, it's kind of hard to describe. It's sort of, I don't want to say fresh or clean, but kind of, but not in the traditional sense. It's kind of like just a really feminine, fresh scent, if that makes sense. But not fresh in the sense of like a clean smell, if that makes sense. So, and then we've added this sugared sandalwood and some musk to it. Guys, this is really, really, really pretty. I had went back and forth on what I was going to do for this scent, or for this, particular name. So I'm like the type of person, I'm like cuckoo when it comes to this kind of stuff. I kind of like the scent notes to match the name. I mean, I guess generally most people do, right? But sometimes that doesn't always happen. And I was going back and forth on what the scent should be. But I landed here. It's just a really pretty, like neutral type of feminine scent, if that makes sense. So hopefully, um, that clears a little bit up. I know I'm not, there's probably folks in the group, honestly, that really know a lot about perfume dupes and maybe can describe it a little better. But I think that's a really good way to describe it. Just sort of like fresh in a feminine way, like neutrally though, like not again, not pulling floral, not pulling like clean. So hopefully that makes sense. Dear Old Shiz. This one is also the Whispers in the Library dupe. And then we've added the sweet plum and the honey. And so, you get that sort of like antique paper smell, that library smell. But in the best way, and with the sweet plum and the honey, like it just smells so good. I wish, I thought about bringing up all of my testers, but I'm on a different floor than where we pour at, and I've actually made some adjustments since the testers, since I did the testers anyway, and so I just kind of am doing this from memory. But this one, yeah, like so, like a traditional library scent. If you're familiar with Whispers in the Library, it's that mixed with our sweet plum and honey. So dreams come true. I wanted to get a lavender scent in here. So we got our sweet lavender. We have hints of poppy flowers as an ode to, um, when in the Wizard of Oz, when they all fell asleep in the poppy flowers. And so I thought it made sense to mix a little bit of that scent with lavender. So it's sort of that sweet floral take with the apricot and the raspberry. So it's that sweet floral scent that I really, really like mixed with our sweet lavender. I was going back and forth on what lavender to use here, but I wanted to appeal to not only our lavender lovers, but also those of us who maybe are a little bit nervous about like more of an herbal lavender. So I got the lavender in there and kind of have that sweet take on it with the floral, which I think really helps mellow that out. And it's a really, really pretty take on a lavender scent, and something like that I thought was a little bit unique that we certainly haven't done before. Haunted Forest. I really, really like this one. This one is sort of a smoky, woodsy scent. So we have the birchwood pine in there. We have our pine needles. We also have the roasted pine cones. We have our scarecrow hay. Of course, it's a hay note, but we had to throw the scarecrow in there. A little cardamom and Palo Santo. So I would say, and you know what? I don't have it listed here, but you can even pick up a little bit of that sap scent, like the sweet sap. And so, yeah, it's just a really pretty woodsy. And I think with the hay and the cardamom, I think it takes a little bit of a different take on just a traditional sort of foresty scent. And you get a little bit of the smoky pine needles and the smoke in there as well. So if you like, pine scent, I think this is a little bit different take on it. And I think you would like it. Yeah, if you like pine, woodsy, if you like smoky, definitely, I think that you would like this one. So just again, a little bit different take on a woodsy scent. So Lollipop Guild, this one had to do this one, right? So we have our fruity lollipops oil. This is an oil we've done lollipop scents in the past, like a couple. This is a different oil than we've used in the past. It's the same pink lemonade oil that we've used in the past. Of course, our raspberry and then cotton candy. This really just takes a little bit different spin on a pink lemonade, adding that extra sweetness. You really don't like the raspberry in here is really just making the lemonade sweeter, if that makes sense. It's not standing out as a true raspberry scent. You just pick up a little bit extra sweetness with the raspberry, the cotton candy, and then the Fruit Loop. So it's a really just sort of like a fruity pink lemonade scent, but it's really, really good if you like it. It's super fun. It'd be super fun for summer. Magic Elixir. I've done actually two versions of this during testing. I have used a matcha oil in the past. So if you participated in our the one collection last year, I had a scent called Girlfriends that had the matcha green tea in it. So I've done a version with that, which I really, really like. And then I did a new oil. I think I might end up going with the original oil that I used last year. People are used to that one. I think it's really good. Mixed with a sweet lavender cold foam. Again, we're adding a little bit of our raspberry in this one just for a little bit of added sweetness. It's not going to come off as a raspberry scent. And then a sweet vanilla cream just to kind of give it that sort of latte-esque kind of vibe with the extra vanilla. But this is really, really good. If you're not sure if you would like a matcha, I think blended this way, it's going to be balanced out really well. So yeah, and I noticed, so funny story, I noticed that at Starbucks, they have the new matcha like lavender cold foam drink, which I actually got just last weekend. And I was laughing. I was like, they copied off me, but no, seriously. Yeah, it just made me laugh. And I was like, we have a little bit different spin on it. We added our little raspberry drizzle in there, but yeah, I think it's really good. I think if you like lavender, again, we're using our sweet lavender here. And yeah, I think it's a good mix. It's a good balance, and I think you'll kind of get all of those notes. I mean, the lavender won't overtake it. I think it's nicely balanced. So yeah, this is a really, really good one. over the rainbow. So we're using our fresh rain oil. This is the same rain oil that I've always used. Um, if you're new to our shop, rain oils, I've tested a lot of rain oils, and many of them, I would say a majority of them, lean floral. And I really wanted a rain oil that was really more sort of like fresh in a sense, but sort of ozone-esque. And so that's what ours is. It does not lean floral at all. It's very like, ozone kind of fresh scent. We haven't used this passion fruit oil before. So that's a new one. Added a little satsuma to it and just a hint of green clover for a little bit of a green note, sort of to add that authenticity to a rain scent. But yeah, it smells really good. So it's like a fruity rain. But we've never used these two fruity scents together. And I think I've only used satsuma maybe once or twice before, but it's been a while. So figure that would be a good rain scent for summer as well, sort of a summer spin on the rain scent. Oz Dust Ballroom. So this is also a dupe. This one is Jazz Club. This is Jazz Club. Am I telling you that right? Yes. This is Jazz Club mixed with the juicy strawberry. And I would say, while Jazz Club is it's like a masculine scent, sort of a sweet masculine, if that makes sense. Not like a traditional, like what you would think of like an aftershave or something like that. Not like that. It's sort of like a, sort of a, kind of like a little bit spicy, sweet scent. And the reason I ended up using this is because for Christmas, I got my son, how Sephora sells those little sample kit bags of scents that you can you get like 10 like mini vials of scents, and then you like get a certificate to purchase the large size. So I got my son one of those. He's in middle school. He's like into colognes. I guess that's the thing with with the middle schoolers. It's like all about the cologne. But anyway, so I got him that, and like we smelled them together, and Jazz Club was in that sampler, and I loved it. And so I was like, I'm definitely using that. So I thought that this was the perfect one. And the juicy strawberry, I would say I probably should actually change the way that this appears in here. It's more like a sensual strawberry. So it is sweet like a strawberry, but it's more sensual. So it really blends nicely. It gives a little sort of like, there's that masculine undertone, but I wanted to add a little sweetness to it as well. So that's what we did with this one. And so I think this part is the strawberry piece of it. So it's more like a sensual strawberry. And just generally speaking, I should have said this at the beginning, I tend to like sort of blends that kind of blend seamlessly, and there's not necessarily like a sharp note sticking out. So that's really what I try to do with these. I've tried that in the past, maybe not all the time successful, which is why a lot of times if you see reformulated next to something, it's because, even though we test them once it even, it cured longer once we poured it for real, and, it changed a little bit. And so we make note of that, and then we adjust it the next time. So anyway, this is Jazz Club with this sort of sensual, I'll say sensual strawberry, which is really, really pretty, kind of has that masculine and sweetness to it. So really, really nice. Okay, pink looks good with green. So this is our buttermint milk and cookies. I got a lot of great feedback when we did the buttermint milk and cookies alone, like in my cuckoo mind. I'm thinking, okay, I wanted to do a scent that was called Pink Looks Good with Green. It's like a line from Wicked. And I was trying to think like either come up with something new. I didn't have a milk and cookies blend on the list at that point. And I thought, like, I'm thinking buttermints, okay, like those little mint green and the little pink ones are in there. And so then, you know what? It made sense to me. So just to put a little bit of a different spin on it, I added the pink sugar and the cashmere cream and mellow cream. So if you've never had our cashmere cream before, and you're not like a traditional cashmere lover, I would say this is definitely a subdued cashmere. It's more like a creamed out cashmere. It's not off-putting. If you don't like cashmere scents, I think you could still like this one, honestly. Um, but yeah, sort of like a sensual, like feminine take on the buttermint milk and cookies. You know, it's still there. That bakery's still there. It's just sort of a little bit sensual undertone to it. So really, really pretty. Popular in pink. This is our Miss Priss scent that is slightly reformulated now. We've offered it as a sample in the past. I think it was like a couple releases ago. We got a lot of good feedback on it, so I wanted to incorporate it into this one, and we added the pink chiffon and the vanilla lace. I thought that made perfect sense to the nod to the popular song that's in Wicked. So anyway, so that's this take. It's really pretty. It's a again, sort of that sweet floral. I know rose really freaks people out. Like, I'm with you. I always kind of like, you know, pause when I see that, but I promise you it's not a note that's overtaking the blend. It's a really well balanced feminine scent. It's not a dupe to my knowledge. You know, when you look at the scent notes, it does look like it could be, but it is not to my knowledge. At least the supplier isn't advertising it that way. I think it's a proprietary blend that they do. And so, yeah. So this one's a really pretty sort of, again, just like feminine sensual blend, not overly floral at all by any means. Okay, ruby slippers. So, you know, I paused on this one a little bit because I was really gonna sort of maybe do a dupe oil here or do some sort of feminine scent here. But when I was looking at the list, we had like a lot of already, you know, we had a lot of dupes already on the list, a lot of floral in this release already. And so I was trying to think like, what could we do here? What's missing? And we hadn't had like really a drink yet. And so I thought, with summer coming up, we need a margarita scent. You know, I did a grapefruit scent in the last release, and it ended up being, I think, the underdog in the release, but I think one of the scents that was you know, that I got a lot of good feedback on. And I will tell you that my son loved the scent. It was called Spill the Tea. And it was a grapefruit tea scent. And I need to do that again because we ran out, and my son was like, where's that scent at? I want some more of that. He's, you know, since he's into the clones and stuff now, he's actually confiscating some of the wax too and melting it in his room, which is a surprise. It's kind of funny to me, but yeah, so I definitely wanted to try the grapefruit again. This time with the margarita. We're sweetening it up with some elderberry simple syrup. I've used that in some testers that I've done, but I've never done it in a release or a sample actually. And so they blend very well together. So it's sort of like a sweet tart kind of margarita scent, and garnished with just a sprig of mint. If you don't like mint, I think you'll still be fine with this. It's really just kind of a very far in the background note, just to add a little bit of depth to it. But it's really, really, really good. Another fun scent for summer. The Wizard Will See You Now is also a dupe. Yeah, it's so funny. Somebody had asked me about the which ones were dupes, and when I thought about it in my head, I was like, I think there's 3, but there's definitely more than 3. I think we have 5 or 6 in here. But I was just kind of doing it, you know, by my recollection, and I think I forgot a few. But this one is Fleur's father figure, and which I think. So what I'm mixing it with, I think I can't remember where it starts. It might be like, sorry guys, I'm totally doing this. I think it might be like around here. These notes here, this black tea, black pepper, and warm woods. So if you're familiar with the scent that we've done in the past, Into the Night, it's sort of like a fig and tea scent. This other oil that I'm blending this with reminds me of that, but maybe like a little darker, if that makes sense. So Father figure is definitely a masculine scent, but just like all those floor scents, at least the ones I've smelled, they're not like overly like what you think of when someone says cologne. I always think like an aftershave, like a shaving oil or shaving foam. You know what I mean? Like but it's not like that. It's not like, your grandpa's like aftershave kind of situation. It's more subdued. There's so many different variations in the notes that it's more like it's masculine, but it's sort of like um a subdued masculine. It's sort of more neutral masculine, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way I think about it in my mind. It's not overbearing. Again, it's not your grandpa's aftershave. But then I mixed it with another oil that has these black tea, some woodsy notes, a black pepper, and it's really, really good. And again, no sharp notes. I try to pick things that I paired with the perfume dupes to really blend seamlessly so that nothing's sticking out as sharp. And as I'm speaking right now, based on the testers, that is the case. Sometimes things change because as I'm pouring, it takes us a couple months to pour. And so even though I think, okay, something, smell really, really good, it's happened to me before, where by the time we're done pouring, I'm like, oh, this changed a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. And so then again, if you see reformulated, that usually is why, because the longer it cured, it just changed a little bit, still good, but just not exactly how I wanted it to be. And so that happens on occasion, and we just fix it the next time. So the grimoire. So I had some requests about where there's smoke in Palo Santo. So I wanted to work it in, but I also wanted it to fit the release. And so I did it, but I added the antique paper and the cedar wood. This is also a new oil. It's, if you participated in our last release, we had an antique paper oil in our Ebenezer scent, but this one is a more subdued version than that. To be honest with you, in the Ebenezer scent, that was one where as it cured, I did a tester, adjusted it after the tester when we were pouring for real, and it even changed again. And so the paper note was the masculine, like kind of papery note, and that one came out a little bit more than I was hoping that it would. And so if we do that scent again, I would definitely adjust some things in that one. But this one is a totally different oil that I'm using this time, and it's more of a subdued paper. So it's just going to add a little bit of background note to the where there's smoke. So it's where there's smoke, again, by the fireplace type. So it's a sweet, smoky scent, like on its own. And then there's a little touch of that antique paper and cedar wood in the background. So it's a really pretty smooth, smoky, sweet scent. There's no place like home. This one is, I think Ashley Overly posted in the group about Boom Roasted, which is a scent that I haven't done in quite a long time. In a release. But this one gives those same vibes. So instead of the espresso, we're using the house coffee beans. Instead of cinnamon sugar donuts, we have our fried dough. And then the rest of the notes are the same. So if you like a good coffee bakery scent, and zucchini bread isn't off-putting to you, I don't think our zucchini bread smells like corn chips or feet. But so if you like a good coffee bakery, and I really love our house coffee beans, it's actually multiple oils in that one. It's really good and homey, I feel like, so that's why I can kind of attach it to this name. But yeah, it's a really good coffee bakery blend. Next, so When Monkeys Fly in the Oz Night Sky. This is our Dark Nights blend, which is I guess to explain it the best, it would be like a smoky blackberry, but like a sweet smoke blackberry. Any smoky scents that we do, generally speaking, they're typically always sweeter smoke. I don't know that I have anything that's really like smoky, really deep smoky. You know what I mean? So this one's a really sweet smoked blackberry. I have a touch of the Haunted Pines in here in the background and a hint of cool air. it's more like a what you would it's not like a minty note or anything like that, just a kind of like a hint of freshness in the background to kind of give it that out little bit of an outdoorsy smell. But again, it does that definitely doesn't take over the scent. It's definitely in the background. So just our sweet blackberry scent with a hint of pine in the background. um Yellow Brick Road. I had to throw a fun one in for this one. I haven't done a ton of cereal scents. I feel like that's hit or miss with folks. I mean, I think a lot of people still do like them. But I know there was a time when they were really popular, maybe not as much now, but I thought it was a fun scent for this collection. I haven't actually used Fruity Pebbles before. I've used the other cereal scents, like the Fruit Loops, of course. I think I've done Captain Crunch, and I think those are the only two I've done. But we're mixing it here with lemon pound cake, strawberry pound cake. We're doing some cotton candy milk just to kind of have a fun spin on it, and raspberry marshmallow buttercream. So that's just our raspberry, and we're doing some marshmallow with our buttercream, like literally mixing these all together to make this oil. I like to do that a lot, like just to make it a little bit unique and a little bit interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit more work and a little bit more oils that we have to use on our end, right, to make it a little bit more challenging on ourselves. But I think that's what keeps it interesting and fun and a little bit unique, is by kind of mixing oils together to form your own sort of take on a scent note that maybe isn't out there from a supplier, if that makes sense. So that's what we did here. So yeah, if you like cereal scents, if you're a bakery lover, this one's for you. Just a fun take on a fruity cereal scent. And I think this is the last one in the Emerald City collection. So I think I gotta speed it up a little bit, Erica. Okay. So your green. This is our Gadzook scent. So it's our zucchini bread, sugar cookie bomb, sweet milk. If you're new to our shop, again, our zucchini bread, I don't think is corn chippy. This really just smells like a very sort of savory bakery scent, very creamed out with the various cookie oils that are used in here, the sweet milk, not sour by any means, just adds a creamy sweetness to the blend. And then I'm adding it to this I have never done before. It's called Baker's Rack. And again, it's just like a really heavy bakery scent, breads, croissants, and donuts all mixed together. I was thinking of what I could do with this. I was thinking about doing like another smoky scent or something like that here, because you're green. It's a line from Wicked referring to Elphaba. And so I was thinking but I thought like maybe doing something smoky, but I felt like we hadn't really, we didn't have a lot of bakery on this list at that point. And I know folks seem to like this scent. And so I just kind of wanted to do another take on it. I had thought about adding something else to it, like maybe some fruit or something like that. But I was like, you know what? Let's just go with just all straight bakery. That way it can stand alone on its own. And then you can use it as a mixer if you want to come up with your own creation. So your green, that's that. So it's just a yummy bakery goodness is how I would describe it, with all the yummy bakery notes, bread, all those fun things. So that's that. Okay. So I can't even see if I have a timer on this. I wish I did. I should have made note of when I started. Okay. I'm going to try to get through this quick. Bonus scent list is Lemon Berry Bliss Parfait. So I haven't really done a ton of berry scents other than our raspberry. I mean, I've done strawberry pound cake. Honestly, you guys, to my nose, a lot of times, like strawberry, I have to be really careful with which strawberry and oils I use. They sometimes come off sour to me, and that's happened to me a lot when buying different tester oils to try. But these berry oils that I'm using in this one are so yummy, so delicious. You're getting like blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, all of that. The lemon creme fraiche, again, this is another creation that I've done with different lemon oils and cream, and then our shortbread crust. So it's really just a yummy lemon berry bakery scent. So if you like lemon berry and bakery, this definitely is for you. It's really, really nice and will be great for summer. Bun in the oven plus jammin'. So this is again another sort of like traditional bakery scent. Originally, I just had it as bun in the oven. But because we did the Gadzooks, I thought, well, let me add a little bit of our raspberry to this one, because the raspberry that we're using in various other blends in this release, they're really not the star of the show, right? They're just like sort of adding a little bit of sweetness to the blends and as a background note. And so this is sort of our one raspberry, not, I wouldn't say forward, but you can smell the raspberry in this one. It's nicely balanced with all the bakery notes. So if you've tried our other raspberry bakery scents and you like those, I think you will like this one. And for those of you that are new to our shop, our raspberry jam is a very sweet raspberry jam. It's not a floral at all. Very true fruit smell. So really, really good. Okay, I'm really excited about this one, you guys. Cashmere Cozy plus London Fog Latte. So Cashmere Cozy is cashmere cream, cashmere cedar, mellow fireside, a really sensual feminine blend. So with a hint of sweet smokiness with that mellow fireside, marshmallow fireside. So yeah, so it's really pretty. If you smelt it on your own, you know what it smells like. Again, just very sensual, creamy, feminine scent, not floral at all. Mixed with London Fog Latte. So this is a new blend. If you've had our London Fog scent in the past, this is different. I really, really love how this blend came together. If I have to be honest, I would almost describe it as a London Fog like latte cookie, because there's a you kind of pick up on the way it comes together. It almost kind of smells like a little bit of bakery note in the background. And so it's mixed with all these other notes. It's so pretty, you guys. So if you like sensual blends, if you like tea scents, this is definitely for you. Really excited about this one. Danny and Sandy. This one we've done obviously our beach nights oil mixed with midnight campsite, which we've also done on its own in the past. So it's a really, again, a sweet smoky scent with beach nights. I've never done a straight s'mores oil. And so I've mixed together some things. Really love this. If you're afraid of chocolate, don't worry about this s'mores note. It's not chocolatey. I mean, if it is in there, it's like really far in the background. You don't pick up chocolate at all. It's more of like a gooey marshmallow graham cracker scent with a hint of like a fresh breeze. So just a hint in the background. So really, really, really pretty. Be fun anytime, but like especially fun for summer, I feel like. And I guess obviously an ode to Greece, right? Flip-flops. So flip-flops is a blend that I only poured once, I think. I have slightly reformulated here because the beachy coconut oil that I used to use is no longer available. And I think the one that I got is pretty much identical, but wanted to call that out. And then we also, just for a little bit of added sweetness, we did add some creamy beachy marshmallows to it just for fun. And in the past, the one time that I poured it in layers. And I think it was the coconut and the strawberry. How did I do it the last time? Maybe I can't remember how I poured it. It was layered. I can't remember how I broke it down. I'm pretty sure it was layered. Anyways, this time I'm not going to layer it. I'm just going to mix it all together. I just figured it would be easier, especially since we're doing the melt cups now, and it would be kind of hard to layer those. I mean, I could do it, but it'd be a little, I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to, unless you guys comment that you want me to layer. But I think I'm just going to mix it. So this is just like a really pretty, definitely a beachy coconut. That's why I made sure to put that. It's not bakery coconut on this one. With the strawberry pound cake, the boom boom, and the beachy marshmallow. It's just like a really fun, sweet, beachy summer scent. Island Beach Party. I did this one as a sample in our RTS that we just did at the end of the year, and then also the September pre-order right before that. This was given out in samples. This was a brand new scent. Got a lot of great feedback on it. People seem to be really loving it, and so I wanted to do it in full size this time. So it's our beach nights with our house pina colada cupcake. So it's more of like, I would say more of a yellow, it's a yellow cupcake with bakery coconut. So this one is a bakery coconut and and pineapple. So again, sometimes fruity scents are not my favorite. And I will tell you, sometimes tropical fruity scents come off as BO to me. And so I'm really particular about which oils I use that are tropical oils. And so I can 100% tell you that this pineapple oil, if you are somebody that didn't get the sample, it is not that way at all. It's just a really pretty, and again, the beach nights is really in the background on this one. So if you're not a beach nights person, I really do think the house pina colada cupcakes is the star of the show, and you might get a little bit of that beachy note in the background, but it's really, really, really pretty, guys. This one has staying power. It's really strong, in my opinion, and lasts a long time. So yeah, this one's really, really nice. If you're new to beach nights or you're not traditionally a beach nights lover, I think this one you could do. Um, Lavender fusion plus pink peppermint. This one, isn't super unique, I don't feel like, but I feel like a good bedtime scent is always appreciated. So we've done a little bit of spin here where I'm adding the bedtime bath, which we've never used before, with our sweet lavender and then our house lavender. And our house lavender is sort of a mix of sweet and herbal, so it meets somewhere in the middle. Then we've added some pink sugar, crushed candy canes, sweet peppermint, and vanilla, just to kind of have a really creamy pepperminty scent, mixed with the lovely lavender notes in this one. So a really great lavender lover blend, or a bedtime blend. Again, not super unique, but I feel like there was a place for it here. Luxury soaking tub. So guys, do not be afraid of the sugared rose oil. This one is, yes, you can smell the rose, but it's a sweet rose. It's not, your grandma's, rose perfume, or sort of an old fashioned type perfume that has rose in it. It's not like that. It's a very subdued, sweet rose that's really balanced out with the lavender and the Earl Grey tea note, and this sensual milk bath. Just really pretty, and really smells like a luxury, like, bubble bath. And so like at a high-end salon or something. But really, really pretty. If you are afraid of rose, I really think you could do this one. Like I said, really subdued, kind of a background note. If you had our rose colored glasses in the last release, this rose is nowhere near as strong as that one was. And I don't even think that one was like overpowering. It was definitely stronger than it is in this blend. So not the same oils, but just kind of a comparison, that like the rose note in that other, in rose colored glasses, was definitely way stronger than this one is. So really pretty, just sensual bubble bath scent. My big fat Greek coffee, sort of an ode to my big fat Greek wedding. So this is our bold coffee oil, hit with a lot of baklava, which is the phyllo dough, nuts, and honey dessert. Super good. Honey is not floral, just really adds sweetness to a nutty bakery. Like if you like a bear claw, like it's not, it doesn't smell exactly like bear claw, but if you like bear claw, I think, you would probably be fine with this. Again, the honey is not floral. And then I threw in some extra vanilla bakery scents just to make this a really yummy coffee bakery scent, which tend to be my favorite. Seems like a lot of other people's too. So I wanted to hit that. Next one is Nashville. My travels last week for work was in Nashville. It's one of my favorite cities. It's a place that I would consider moving if we ever did. We've talked about it a little bit, maybe, probably in the suburbs, but I just love the city. I was there for work, so I didn't get to do a lot of exploring and fun stuff, but we got a little bit of time. So just wanted to have a little ode to that. And so this is another dupe. This is the Le Labo, what is it? Le Labo, Santal 33. But again, it's not just that. I've added a suede note to it and some woody embers. Again, sort of like a, don't be afraid of the leather. I get afraid of leather. I don't like leather scents, but I would say it's a, how would I explain? This one's a little bit hard for me to explain. I feel like I don't feel like it's like a, again, masculine, I would say. Okay, masculine, but not cologne masculine. More again of like I keep using that word neutral because I use it because it doesn't lean like fresh, clean man. You know what I mean? It's more like of the woodsy, dark kind of side of it. And a little, and adding a little bit of the woody embers adds a little bit of smokiness. And the suede. Again, probably there's probably somebody in the group that can probably explain that scent a little better than I can. But no, I just like to tell people because when they don't like cologne scents, it's not a traditional what you would think of like as your, again, your grandfather's aftershave, not like that. More, woody, dark, um, you know, um, slightly smoky with the added elements that I put into it. So that's Nashville. I hope I don't get cut off. Oh, I gotta hurry up though. Partners in Wine, Wine Cellar. We've done this as a sample before, got a lot of great feedback on it, so I wanted to do it again. Wine Cellar is the BBW dupe. I know someone asked me if it was. It is, but I've never actually had the candle, so I couldn't tell you if it's an exact dupe or an inspired by. I think it smells great, super unique, and we've added our sweet blackberry to it, which really gives it a little bit more of a sweetie undertone to it, but super, super yummy, different, unique, and yeah, really, really pretty. Summer cookie cutter. I did a cookie cutter scent that I sent out as samples in our last release. I've tweaked it since then. Vanilla bakeries are traditionally hard to get right. So I've tweaked it since that sampler went out, or since the sample went out, and got it stronger, got it longer lasting. But with summer coming up and spring coming up, I thought, let's add some strawberry pound cake. Our lemon drop cookies is really, really good. That's a custom house blend as well. And some sugary lemon glaze just for measure. And just add a summer twist to it. So it's really, really yummy. I will eventually do that cookie cutter blend on its own. But I just wanted to add this for summer, and yeah, it's just really, really yummy. So if you love strawberry pound cake, you love lemon scents, and it's a creamy lemon, not a tart lemon, I think you will really, really like this one. And then the final one is called the Old Country. So it was so funny. Like I wanted to do this blend for a while now. And I just never worked it in. So I wanted to do it here. And what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I've been wanting to do this blend for a while now. So I had the rosemary and olive oil bread combo. So it's rosemary in the sense of like the traditional herb, right? Not, I'm trying to think, like rosemary mint is a little bit different. The rosemary in that is a little bit different. This is, I would say, more of like the fresh herb kind of rosemary. You get the bread note, like an olive oil bread note, like an Italian bread. Do you know what I mean? Like olive oil bread. And then I wasn't sure if this was going to work because I had a couple different limoncello oils. I've used one in the past. This is a different one than I've used in the past. I like this one a little bit better, I think. And I wasn't sure how it would go, to be honest. But I wanted to try it. And so it blends. Sorry, guys, I'm like losing my train of thought here, talking too much too fast. It really gives like just a nice sweetness to the more savory notes in the other part of the blend. And then and then I added this warm breeze, this oil that I found that's really, really pretty, just adds a brightness, kind of like the summer sun, if you would think about it. You know what I mean? So really, really pretty. If anybody's, so I was talking with someone about this a while ago, and this is when the idea came up. Is it Swan Creek? They have that one blend. Is it like Italian countryside or something like that, where it's like a rosemary bread or something in it. Anyways, I smelled that and I was like, oh, I would love to try and do something inspired by that. I think there's just like, the rosemary bread. But I wanted to do something different. And so I added the limoncello. I really think it really, again, I think it comes together really, really well. It's super fun scent, something different. Is it something that you could probably, that I would melt all the time? Probably not, but I think it's fun to try. And yeah, I mean, it's just a fun scent. Again, it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and it kind of reminds me of that Swan Creek scent. If you guys know what I'm talking, I think it's called Italian Countryside. I think that's what it is. Um, so this was inspired by that, but I've added the limoncello and then like the war breeze. So that is the end of the list, you guys. I went through that really, really fast. I know. And if I didn't make any sense or made you more confused, I'm really sorry. But just ask me questions in the comments and I will be sure to answer them. We have a great community here. And so I know that we have very knowledgeable people in the group. And so I'm sure they'll chime in and answer questions as they always do with their insight and take on the different like dupe oils and things like that. So again, thank you. If you're listening, thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate all the support. I truly do. Let me stop sharing here. Yeah, I'll turn the video back on for a second. Yeah, just thank you again for all of the support. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you for those that have been with us since the beginning. Thank you to anyone that is new and trying us for the first time. We really appreciate you giving us a try. And we're just going to do our best to make this a really fun and unique release. And we have some things planned that we're going to do to make it even more fun and interesting, just with the decorations. And yeah, I mean, I think it'll be really fun. And we've kept the scent list less than half the size of what we did the last time. That way we can take our time to kind of incorporate those nice, touches with different ones, with different pours and things like that just make it even more fun and special. So anyway, that is the goal. Again, if you have questions, please comment. I promise I will try to answer them as best I can. And again, I know we have lots of folks that are very knowledgeable on all the scent things, and I'm sure we'll chime in as well and give you their take. So always great to hear different perspectives for sure, because we all have different noses. So again, thanks for joining. I'll stop rambling. I'll let you back to your day, and I will talk to you guys all really soon. Take care, and thanks so much again. If I can shut off, guys. You're still with me.